Okay, dear student, I'm extremely happy that we could able to be with you for this whole week. And trust that you thoroughly understand, you enjoyed at least this extremely meaningful, this session with all of us. Okay, I trust that you are able to see my screen. Are you, Smriti ma'am? You are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir, I can.
Thank you so much. So this is the summary I would like to give you today. Personal transformation in rapidly changing world with COVID-19, with disorienting dilemmas created by COVID. And in the midst of this disorienting dilemma, His Holiness Lungten Gasto from Bhutan and myself from Norway were able to share some of our insight, our creativity based both on science and wisdom tradition. COVID-19, every day you get the active cases is growing around the world. Incidence rates are also increasing. And case to fertility ratio, at least luckily in our part of the world, case to fatality or mortality is lesser than other part of the world. But it is a shared human suffering. People are suffering physically, mentally, economically, psychologically, in many, many ways. This is the world where we are in. And here, with this disorienting dilemma, we need to flourish. That is personal transformation. A lot has been said by His Holiness and me about we human beings because of the wrong understanding, because of poor feeling in relationship with nature, with animal, with all sentient beings. Everybody who are living in this world, including Mother Earth, is sick. This sickness is caused by human being really. If this is our construct, we have also ability to deconstruct. But this problem is a hyper complex problem and difficult learning will be required because it has a dynamic complexity. It has an emergent complexity. And many societies, different political leader thinks differently to this crisis, COVID crisis, climate crisis, global food crisis, global water crisis, and the crisis of individual well-being. Difficult learning will be required. Be ready with that one. So, but something which is there in our hand, how to become resilience, how to have a positive adaptation despite the fact that this disorienting dilemma is taking place, and how to use this as an opportunity for personal transformation so that we are on the path to happiness. Happiness is the goal of every other goal in life. We talk quite a lot about you need to go inward journey and mental training. And we have seen very many examples that how meditation influence upper epigenetics marker, how it creates those epigenetics marker which up regulates the gene, those gene which brings out a positive behavior and flourishing mode. We also talk about neuroplasticity, how meditation changes our brain. The whole idea is His Holiness was also indicating now we are close and being ourselves because of our extrovert nature. But if you come inward, simply meditation means if you know how to harness your journey and that potential from inward, this will flourish. We will in a flourishing mode. So, you being a master student in your life, you have a long way in front. At least if you look at the internet here, there, please try to look at the meditation and benefit of meditation from multiple of sources with very convincing, without any shadow of doubt, those research which gives you all this different kind of benefit that we all are looking for. Remember that we are telling, oh, political party is not good, this, that, and we also need the innovation is not good. But as long as this all embracing personal transformation is not happening, how, if each person is not transformed, the political culture will be good? And if the political culture is not good, how they can think and aspire new creativity and innovation? So it's very important personal transformation which embraces everything in individual level and at system level. For that, His Holiness was talking about education and sanskara. There are now number of studies around the world where one of the way is value-based education, and contemplative education is a essential core to that one, which is a philosophy of higher education that integrates an introspection, why I am thinking the way I am thinking, why I am suffering, doing more introspection on yourself, and also experiential learning, not only the bookish learning, because you need to be context responsive. Okay, that's very important. I gave you this example from Naropa University. Both teaching, learning, examination can be a celebration. Therefore, it's very important in order to have a better education sanskara. We need to bring this contemplative education. I was giving you several meditation sessions in this last 5 weeks, and I trust that they are able to touch you. And even exams should be a celebration, not a stressful, a punishing kind of environment for you. There are many researches I showed you done by the Western scientists, very great name in their area. Some are in the neuropsychology, some are in the psychology, some are in the wisdom tradition, some are in the comparative philosophy. Okay, but all are pointing toward contemplative practices that evolves from your part of the world. And now you see the scientific findings around just one style of meditation, mindfulness, and we have many tantra have many things to offer. Specific need and specific issues can be addressed by these contemplative practices, and you see how this is becoming more and more science today. And this contemplative education support the student learning. Your wandering mind every moment, now and then you need to check your Facebook, but this will give you that courage and creativity, how you can cultivate and regulate your attention. That is called schooling of attention. His Holiness and I was talking about the cultivation of empathy. If you want to be happy without cultivating that skillful means to be a compassionate person, you cannot be happy. But contemplative education also gives that one. Relationship is very important. Feeling in relationship that we have been talking, establishing equanimity, balance of mind is also very important. No matter how much money you earn or what kind of agency power you have, and you also learn to sustain contradiction by forgiveness, by understanding that his or her intention was there was no problem, but only problem with the competence and resilience thinking. I'll give you a few words about resilience thinking. This resilience is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant source of stress. Okay, how process of adapting well. It means bouncing back from difficult experiences. COVID-19 could be difficult experiences, but this too will pass away. That requires to have a resilience thinking. You need to establish a good social connection. You must have a good attitude in life through transformative practices. A value-based life, this course is all about. You need to manage your emotion and you need to cultivate some humor in you. About relationship, this study, please look at the work, the TED, at least TED talk by Robert Wardinger about 75-year-long Harvard study on adult happiness. What you are aspiring happiness. Remember, so many publications, 714 people they have examined. And if you see what makes a good life, lesson learned from a very well researched, even in 2015 or so, there were 10 million view of the state work. You please look at that one. The answer is only one that His Holiness was telling about, feeling in relationship. Relationship is the key word to your happiness. Second is your attitude. You can be happy, healthy if you have a wrong attitude in life, you cannot be happy because there is a fundamental problem with your own attitude, which is your self-construct really. Even during any kind of things happens in life, things that too is impermanent. Don't personalize. Things happen, shit happens in life to everybody, not only you. And some of them are beyond your control. That is what is called Adi Daivik Dukha. And thus, if you understand, if you look at the mid-hills, people of mid-hills of Nepal, Badi, Pairo, all this flood, drought, earthquake, they do happens. These are Adi Daivik Dukha. So you have to, don't regret, condemn that one, but be content. Yes, this happens. So this is very important. And there are very many studies around. Value is very important in life. Value is the one who keeps you in a right framework. And that value is that anything that you, in a very short-sighted, in a very short run, something may be a problematic and challenge, but have that faith that somebody, that divine intelligence, which will hold me and I'm able to cross that barrier. Fear not, I am with you. And life contains suffering, but be 100% sure that you can bounce back. Emotion is also very important in our life, emotions, because every one negative emotion who will be dragging down in your life, you need 3 positive emotions, at least 3 positive emotions, what is called positivity ratio. Until and unless you don't have a good many good friends to help you and suggest you in your hardship, if you don't yourself have a good attitude that this is a shared suffering and this too will pass away, and if you don't have some kind of psychological hook, either in your wisdom tradition or in history or mythology, how you can maintain this pool of emotions? Either you languish or flourish is in your hand. Only important thing is that this positivity to negativity ratio. So don't ruminate, don't brood on negative emotion because you become psychopathological. Remember that this negativity has a very bigger power. You see, in order to counterbalance one negative emotion, you need 3 positive emotion. And humor is very important in life because all studies, fieldwork, research, science, I have learned this one from many Africans and many South Asian, not from so-called the developed industrial part of the world. Humor will also buffer many things in your life. I have given you this example. I thank you very much, Dr. Nani Rao, Dr. Smriti Gurung, for our field work in Mugu in the Rara. I have taken this photo. Look at, despite so many disorienting dilemmas, problem, challenges, how they can smile. Look at your face yourself today. How you can go and see in the mirror. You see, you don't have to wake up 4 o'clock and do everything and then take your ship and go out whole day and cooking food for children. This multitasking thing for our sisters, mothers, but you have 100% chance to study. Do you have this smile in your face? Ask, have a deep introspection. In this COVID, just don't get afraid. Only you need to have a skillful means to maintain your body, mind, and so on, with a great humor and pulling the string of COVID-19. Don't get afraid, because if you take it skillfully, this will be done. So this was our group before. Thank you, Nani Raut. Thank you, many others. Every year we are having very nice students in Kathmandu University. There are 50 students in other program that I'll be teaching together with another spiritual master, His Holiness Chintamani Yogi, in Conflict, Peace and Development CPTS program every year. Finally, sometime the truth can be bitter, but you have to have an openness of experience. We all have dark side of personality. Without we understand and address this dark side of personality that we all have, there is no way to personal transformation. Personal transformation, way to personal transformation, by transforming the dark side of personality. What are those dark side of personality really? Because if you see that the world is full of problem, dilemma, challenges, and then you don't want to face them, you see, फुलको आँखामा फुलै संसार, काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार. Therefore, you need some kind of maturity. Look, I have a limitless opportunity in this country. I have a limitless opportunity having human body. Body is not your limitation. Look at the animals, they don't have hand. They cannot think to that level, small brain, even though the blue whale is so big, but that are very small. But look at your brain to body ratio, highest in the creation so far. Therefore, instead of just thinking about other shortcoming, His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, to be aware of a single shortcoming with oneself is more useful than to be aware of thousands of someone else. Ask your mother, ask your beloved one, Mother, you love me very much. Tell me what kind of not so good side I have, because nobody tells me that. And you ask your close friend. I have been asking this question when Dr. Nani Raut was here as my PhD student many times. Did I do something wrong in that public talk? Do you find something my kind of projection is a little bit bossy or whatever because you are my student? And I got feedback from her because she was my genuinely well-wisher, and then try to improve on that, and I'm improving. Okay? Try to find out from your close friend, from your parents, and then work on all those things. One of the big problem today is the desire which get escalated. And when these wrong desires, when you brood again and again and again and again through media and so on, they become addiction. Then it's very difficult to, when that translates into your neurology, in your neural circuitry, then it becomes addiction, different kind of addiction. Just root cause is the desire, like sex addiction, gambling addiction, food addiction, shopping addiction, internet addiction, cell phone addiction, Facebook addiction. You know all these things. All are addicted. How an addicted person can be happy? How a person addicted with so many alcohol, gaza, all these kind of things can be a happy person? And look at that, because there is no inner fulfillment in life. The rape statistics around the world is very much growing. You go to the beach, but you don't see the waves coming and emerging there, but you like to just occupy. Maybe many of you are also looking your, maybe some of you, or who knows, seeing something else when I'm talking to you, all the way from Norway. Therefore, Albert Einstein feared long, long ago that the day that Albert Einstein feared most may have finally arrived. I feared that the technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. That's why His Holiness was telling feeling in relationship, feeling, because start with affection and all the way to love. All this feeling is very, very important. You need to also understand the reality, those celebrities, those this, that comes in market, who is wearing what kind of fashion. Is that a real thing? Think, contemplate, and therefore understanding reality as it is very important. I was very fond of Rajesh Khanna, and I had a dream to be like him when I was a schoolboy, and my creativity was completely ruined with this looking at this Indian masala movie. It took me very long time. And then don't tell anybody, when I finished my PhD, sorry, PhD, not PhD, but SLG, 10th grade, instead of having a good grade, I had a third division because of this thing. It was so much attention grabbing. I didn't know that Rajesh Khanna, that looked to me that time, could be like this once upon a time. And when he reaches to this state, the death, nobody even want to see his face. You see, the same person, our lifetime. So understanding and going toward the wholeness, there are very many spiritual solutions available. You should expose to that, all these things. For example, in the default mode, all anger, sadness, fear, jealousy, they are there in inbuilt in our psychology, and to certain quantity, small quantity, they are also needed for survival. Inertia, for example, when you don't sleep, you cannot be well, but excessive of the inertia is bad. So your personal transformative journey is moving anger, sadness, fear, jealous, loss, inertia to the left hand side. Transformation means when your excessive inertia you convert into interest, lost into creativity, greed and jealousy to generosity and joy, sadness to gratitude, fear to love, and anger to awareness. These technologies, spiritual technology, are available in our part of the world. Develop the power of discrimination, read the different kind of scriptures, expose yourself to a person. Don't undermine them. They have a lived experience, because they will tell you through through their lived experience and scriptures that what is real and what is unreal. Right understanding that His Holiness was telling all the time. Other thing, we also get angry all the time because it's our, anger or wrath. We get angry for small, we are intolerance. And then there are many underlying root cause of angerness. It's a secondary emotion really. But if you look it below, behind your anger, there are fear, there are past hurts, there are past conditioning, guilt, shame, frustration, and many things. We have to address problem at their source. Therefore, contemplative practices, other kind of, other kind of, other approach to our contemplative life is very, very important. People who are physical, this is from Bhutan. People who are physically fit have more optimum level of this, to manage anger. Sleep is also very important in order to manage not only the anger, but very many things. Anger come from restless mind. And please pay attention so that you are not keeping your mobile phone, this and that next to your head or bed. Please don't do that. That is interfere with your sleeping pattern. Okay, delay gratification is another thing. Try to create a space between some stimuli. If your friend or your partner says something, Instead of reacting immediately, you learn, just count 3 seconds, delay that emotional reactivity, then the outcome will be totally different. Anyone can become angry, that's very easy. Dr. Nani Raut knows this very well. Anyone can become very angry. That is easy. But to be angry at the right person or at the right degree and at the right time for a right purpose and for right way, it is not easy. If some of your small toddlers or kid is falling down and running towards some danger, to express your anger is a skillful means. But in out of context, just brooding and emotion, that is not very good. And very, very important is also your fear, because fear, some amount of fear is required, but that should be ethical fear. Like you should not be touching, you should not be putting your hand on the fire. You have to learn. People will learn, when you are a small baby, 3, 4 months, you don't have a fear, but your mother protected you, because so that way some amount of fear is very important for survival, but that is called ethical fear. The problem today is about unethical fear. So the antidote to that is, as His Holiness was saying, if you build trust and feeling in relationship, most importantly trust, if you trust me that I am your well-wisher, how you will be getting fair with me? Whatever problem arises in the right time, with the right purpose, in the right context, you'll express. You don't feel that, oh, this person will make fun, joke out of that. You need to develop that kind of trustworthy relationship. Trust is very important. I have noted that very many, even highly educated person, they are not trusting anybody, only they are trusting the limited kind of projection that, oh, this, that, and try to be in the safe side, try to be always good. No, not that. Trust and be free. You have to trust on nature, this higher intelligence, and you need to develop those relationships which is based on trust, and then the fear will go away. So the foundation of relationship is also trust. Therefore, His Holiness, the Dalai Lama says, the more you are motivated by love, the more fearless and free your action will be. But if you are not motivated by love, love is, this culminating values, as His Holiness was telling all the time. It's very, very important. If you start, for me, wherever I go in Africa, in difficult places, in Islamic world, I was working in Afghanistan, orchestrating project, difficult places in Pakistan. But when I go to those villages today, those places today, I don't feel anything that I see that all Abbas and many people are my friend there, because I have developed love for them. Every time when I was going there, really, in Malawi, in other places, I know the elderly people, this, that, I will understand their social culture and so on. I'll bring some symbolic gift, some chocolate, some cookies, some Danske cookies, this and that, and giving them, even celebrating my birthday, giving them the gift and getting blessing from whatever wisdom tradition they are from, Christian, Islam, and so on. Even my children who are twins, 25 years old now, it is not a self-righteous talk, Smriti Madam. It is a true story that I asked these boys, instead of giving an expensive gift here in Norway, if you allow me, I will celebrate, because I'm going in my official mission to Africa, and I will give little gift to each of these farmer who comes there in your name. And they agreed to me that one, and then They bless my children there from Malawi, and I know that they could feel it here. So many, many things. Greed is the problem today. Everybody, intense and selfish desire. This is also a dark side of our personality. Whole divide between East and West. All of this is a greed either for the position, agency, power, money, whatnot, very many food or whatever. That is what is greed. And study shows that a upper class, so you think that, oh, when I have plenty of money, I'll be generous. No, the study shows that more money you have during that process, more greedy you are during that process, more you learn how to moralize your greed, and you will be even more greedy. And the idea was to get happy when you become more and generate more income. But when you have a more income, in this study shows that you cannot be happy. Income is going that way. This excess is the income. This is very happy people. In the West, income is growing, but happy people are more or less the same. Same thing happens in other studies also. Your GDP is growing, money is growing in the West, but what about life satisfaction? More or less the same. Very important. His Holiness was teaching us that we need happiness comes from not being greedy, but fulfillment in relationship. Extremely, extremely important. So the true antidote to greed is contentment. Remember, learn to be contented. Tripti, what is called in Sanskrit. And as I was giving a kind of meditation and gratitude, extending that gratitude to all sentient beings, and be contented. Whatever you have more than enough, enough clothes, food, everything out there, and you are very, very privileged to get education, and even this kind of education. Well, if you look at the scripture, by being greedy, there is no advantage, because when you become greedy, that, oh, I want to become rich like other person, you don't get rich, because whatever karma, whatever action you have put into a conscious effort, the right action, according to that you will be receiving feedback because of law of karma. So don't worry. If you only put 100% on your skillful means in your wisdom, definitely happiness will come from there. And very important thing is the pride, which I also suffer sometimes, maybe because this pride, when you develop some kind of agency power, this, that in our life, this mana or mother, which is called, this is a subtle thief. You have seen this kind of thing. It really ruins your intelligence and start influencing again. Oh, when I came to Kathmandu University, I didn't get regard from Nani Raut or Smriti ma'am. That is what is mother. I was myself become victim of that in very many occasions. But here you need even more deeper introspection. That yes, here this idea of intention versus competence comes into being. In one occasion, my former PhD student, now who is the Dean of Institute of Forestry, we did that work together, and in an international conference, generally if we have worked together and our supervisor is there, former supervisor, we acknowledge that person. He forgot that it was not his intention, but I just took it granted. It was touchy for me. So I was thinking, when this conference will be over today and I will express my anger. I said so many bad words that you are so ungrateful person. He simply said that I forgot. There, it was his mistake or my mistake? It was my mistake, because I didn't think that it was not intention not to mention me, but he was lacking competence. And through this feedback, he can develop that competence to grow. And I get competence that I should not be reacting in autopilot mode. Very, very important. So a person think he or she already knows it at all and has it all. That is also some kind of mother. Okay, it is a sin really, and it is a subtle tip that I was telling you. that which takes still your intelligence. So to pride, this mother, this excessive pride, the solution is only understanding, right understanding. Okay. There are very many people who have their own space, they have their own comparative advantage. You even knows about the psychology of younger generation than I do. I better learn from you why your feeling fluctuates. I cannot assume many things. Maybe there are some other problem that has accumulated in you. So learning from you is very important. So seek and you shall receive. Ask who knows. The pride, the mana do not have other solution than a spiritual solution. Understanding, that means. These are my teachers from Buddhist tradition from Sri Lanka. I have been asking and asking and asking and learning very many things, how to handle this pride, this mother, and very many other, this dark side of my personality. And His Holiness, which I've been giving you, you are extremely lucky, and we both were really rejoiced and extremely happy to be with you. And I thank you all for being with me. So thank you so much. And now we may turn on your video, and then we say goodbye. Turn all of you your video now. Yes.